Good evening. We're back.
We are back. We survived. It's been a little. Well, we've not had a break from kind of doing things, but in terms of recording stuff, we were prior engaged last weekend.
We were planning on filming Sunday morning, and it was just a washout Sunday morning in Manchester.
It was just typical Manchester weather, really.
And it didn't stop raining. I think it might have stopped raining for an hour or two in the day, but I don't think it stopped raining from about 6 a.m. right through till I got back to work at 1 a.m. So yeah, it rained pretty much the whole way home.
It was a slog on Sunday, but like the start of the weekend was so good. Like Thursday and Friday, like the weather was like epic.
Yeah, Saturday was a really good day for the weather and the music, obviously. But yeah, I think we got, just as we had planned, right, we did a load of interviews Saturday, so we'll be sharing some of those. But yeah, we're like, right, let's record Sunday and try and put some things in, and it just didn't happen.
It was like, nah, that's not going to happen.
We were hiding away Sunday most of the day.
I was just so cold. It was like when that temperature dropped on a Saturday night and we were like by that fire pit, it was just like, it's like we should have expected it. You know, the fact of you go to Manchester and you have this stereotype of like how it's grim up north and it's cold, and it's like, yeah, we should have prepared better. I didn't take a coat, which is obviously massive schoolboy error. But yeah, I was just like sort of like a little puppy. I was just really cold like for most of Sunday.
So we've got so much to go through today because we've got to obviously look back to last weekend. We've got a couple of interviews that are going to be obviously part of this feature. We've got music, news,
this is essentially going to be like potentially more of a car crash than we're used to. Not the fact that normally it's not a car crash, but we've got kind of loads to cover. We've got basically 5 festivals to talk about, as well as putting some interviews from one of them in, and also talk about some new music and some new music news and stuff. But obviously I'm going to be, we're going to talk about buses quite a bit, and you're going to see a little bit of buses if you're watching this on YouTube. So it's a great sort of lead into there. So I'm going to do the full on ding ding and like be driving this bus for episode 16. And because like I've talked about like enough so much of when I go to Lords and Middlesex and like cricket, we haven't had a cricket number 16 at all, or not a cricket number at all in general, but 16 is a great one to lean into it. England's all-time leading white ball run scorer in both 2020 and ODIs. He's the current captain in both of those teams. Most cap player of all time for England. Was the 2019 World Cup winning captain, still is England's captain. So our number 16 this week, Owen Morgan. And I don't really think there's kind of...
I didn't even get to have a say in this. I didn't even get a vote.
Well, I don't really think there is, because you'd sort of said you couldn't think of a 16. And bearing in mind, like we've had sort of times in the past where we had Steve Marley as kind of one of our sort of numbers. And we had Jamie Redknapp last week. And where we've had kind of like elite players and stuff, we do eventually have to come back to kind of guys that are pretty elite in their sport. And I guess Morgs probably is, just based on those sort of England numbers. And a good day for England in the test match today and yesterday. So fingers crossed that things keep going well.
We're actually about to win.
Well, they won last time, but they're potentially in a really good spot again, winning again. But anyway,
for the last 5 days to get a winner.
We talk too much about sport, as we're told.
Well, because you want to talk about sports that take 5 days.
Well, exactly. To be fair. But anyway, there has been a lot that's kind of gone on in music since we've been last up. A lot of kind of like big festival news. The first one is we'd spoken a while back about Nashville Meets London coming back. We've got some more details. It's taking place at Trinity Buoy Wharf, which is basically directly opposite the river to the O2, kind of as the bend sort of goes round. We knew it was taking place on August 24th and 25th, but we've had some names that are going to be playing. So Priscilla Block, Shy Carter, Manny Blue, and Kyle Daniel have been announced for that. There'll be more artists to be confirmed as well. I know that DJ Hish is involved in some way as well and things. So that's going to be really cool, kind of sort of midweek events in a kind of a new spot in London. So that's kind of a long kind of way ahead, kind of leaning towards like the back end of summer.
Yeah, because that seems to have confused a few people. I know we've had a few messages when we posted it. So it is obviously the Wednesday, Thursday of that week, and then Long Road starts Friday. So that's, I think, the thing that's confused a few people, because you look at the dates and you're automatically thinking, well, that's about the weekend. And I think a lot of people think it's Clash. There is one Clash apparently, which is Priscilla Block, is supposedly the Lexington that night. So I assume we can guess she'll be early to then head over to the Lexington.
Yeah. And in terms of other festivals, it's not one we're going to be attending. Unfortunately, I'd love to go one day, but over the last couple of weeks, Glasgow have announced their day splits and their stage splits, and some of them look really cool. So just kind of sort of glancing through, it's running the 22nd to 26th of June. It all kind of kicks off on the main stuff really on the 24th, which is a Friday. Where you've got people playing. Billy Bragg's on the bill. You've got Sigrid. You've got Phoebe Bridgers. You've got Blossoms, First Aid Kit, Wolf Alice, Robert Plant, and Alison Krauss, and Billie Eilish headlining the Pyramid Stage on that Friday. Saturday, Paul McCartney, who obviously we already knew was going to be the main sort of headliner for Glasgow this year. Noel Gallagher, Haim, Olivia Rodrigo, who I'm so would love to go and see because I'm such a huge fan. Jamie T, Jessie Ware, Ward Thomas. Obviously, basically just sort of done it's like, who would I want to see apart from who is in the whole sort of like country sort of bubble type thing. And then Sunday the 26th, the last day of Glasgow, there's a really strong sort of like folk country Americana presence because you've got Yola, Ferris and Sylvester, Kate Rusby, Imelda May, Megan McKenna, the Shires. They're all kind of going to be on the bill. You've got Kendrick Lamar headlining and closing out that festival on the main stage on a Sunday night. Obviously, Lord and Elbow, in addition to Diana Ross, who's taking like that traditional legend slot for the Sunday afternoon. But I think the coolest thing as well, like on Glasgow for the Sunday, is on the other stage, which is the second stage at Glastonbury. So the last three acts on that night, you've got the Pet Shop Boys closing out. You have got Years and Years and Katie Musgraves, obviously a big part of that bill as well. And that's kind of a really sort of cool way to sort of end that festival on that stage, and as well sort of getting right to the end of Pride Month, where obviously you've got Casey, who's a huge LGBTQ plus ally, and obviously, you know, Neil Tennant and Ollie Alexander, you know, Years and Years, Pet Shop Boys, you know, doing kind of great things and stuff there. So that's Glasgow, and so that ends on the 26th.
Do
and
you think if you go to Glastonbury, you would come out alive?
Well, possibly.
I don't think you'd survive.
I was really well behaved at Buckland Boots. I have, you know, apart from.
That's what I mean. I don't
know.
We'll
come back to my Saturday night antics at Buckland Boots a little bit later. But so Glasgow ends on the 26th, which is also when British Summertime is taking place in Hyde Park. So the Vince Gill fronted Eagles. That gig always looked amazing, where with Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, Little Big Town and Wandering Hearts we already knew about. And over the last couple of weeks, they've also announced that Morgan Wade, Cam and Patrick Droney will also be part of that bill. So that's going to be absolutely killer. If you haven't got tickets yet for that, Hyde Park, the weather will be good. Like it always is good when I go to Hyde Park. It's always hot. I always have, you know, a great time and stuff. Spend far too much money because it's about 27 million pounds a pint or whatever. It's not, but you know, it's.
See, what you're meant to do is you're meant to sit in Hyde Park outside by the Serpentine. You can hear everything, and it's just bring your own beer.
No, it's always good. I don't know. I like it. I've never seen Alison Krauss before, so I'm really looking forward to that as kind of just one big thing. You know, Eagles will be great. You know, I didn't manage to get tickets for Morgan, like for her show. Cam's obviously playing Black Deer as well, but there's kind of a lot of sort of moving parts around Black Deer. So it'll be kind of just really cool to kind of just sort of get to go and be just a music fan with kind of a lot of that really. But yeah, obviously the festival we've sort of mentioned a couple of times as well. So we've been talking a little bit in the future, but going back to the past. So last weekend we headed up to White Bottom Farm, had a really good run up with no traffic whatsoever, which was a miracle. And it was wild, really.
It was a very busy weekend. I think so. That's the first time I've kind of ever been able to go up on the Thursday for Friday. Normally I get there Saturday morning the previous times I've been. So yeah, it was a pretty non-stop weekend. Friday was quite a quiet day until sort of mid-afternoon, wasn't it? It then kind of all started to pick up on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a brilliant weekend, I think, of showcasing obviously so many UK artists, Canadian, American artists. I think it was a good chance for us and for I think the crowd to kind of get to know some new artists as well that maybe people didn't really know of before. And I know we certainly said there was quite a few names on the bill that we did not know the names and didn't recognise and couldn't really share too much about them beforehand. Whereas now I think we had a chance to sit down with some of those, which was quite cool, and get to know them a bit more and check out their sets. And I think there's lots to look forward to from some of those acts going forward.
Yeah, like, it was a really cool weekend. Obviously, you got to see, some of the best in like the UK kind of over here. You had Jade and Tim Protty Jones, Jess Friston, who for me was the standout kind of everybody the whole weekend. Who everyone knows how great they are, even though she wasn't playing herself. Kezia was around doing bits. Similarly with Gary, Quinn, you had Backwards Creek, who again weren't actually playing, but seemed to be playing with everybody. But I don't think actually got referred to as their proper name once. I don't think anyone called them Backwards Creek when they talked about them.
They are the Backward Boys.
It was the Backwards Boys, the Backwards Band, them Creek Boys, Creek Band, and all those sort of things. But, they were kind of, grafting really hard, playing with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
similar to Eddie Smith as well, who his own
credit to those guys. Like Eddie was saying, I think he was in 5 sets, including his own. Yeah, the Backwards Creek guys, they must have been a similar sort of number, especially on that Sunday. It did seem to be like it was either Eddie or Backwards were kind of in every set, it felt like, on that main stage. So yeah, to have learned that many different songs, and it wasn't like it's all just one style of country music as either. It was a real bit of everything. So yeah, full credit to those guys for obviously supporting the UK artists and also those from North America who couldn't bring full bands over because just not quite viable to bring them for that size show. So
I thought it was really. I thought what was really nice as well to be able to get to see some people that like I'd heard the names of before, but not actually got around to sort of seeing, and as well been able to kind of like we talked to quite a few people and stuff over the weekend, recorded some pieces. I got to see Georgia Nevada play with full band for the first time. I got to see Amelia Quinn play for the first time properly. I saw Georgia Rose, who I thought was fantastic and very different to what I was kind of expecting. I thought she was great. Poppy Fardell as well was another one that I thought stood out for me, that when I'd sort of seen kind of before, like on her own and playing acoustic compared to what she does with that full band. I thought, that was really good. And it's great to kind of see a lot of those, UK acts and stuff like Eric and Jensen, who I hadn't seen before either, seeing them for the first time. Jackson Lyon, who are fantastic, recorded a really cool piece with Keith. Those guys are off in Canada at the minute, just starting recording some new tracks, and that's going to be a piece going to be coming really soon. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and like we said, we got to hang out with a load of new people and discover some new artists, including our first special guest. That by the magic of the wonders of the internet and time delays and stuff, you will not just be blessed with the two of us, but you will be blessed with the wonders of when we caught up with Reya Jane.
Yes, so she has just released a song this week called Man Like You. And yeah, it was her first kind of opportunity to play at a festival. So we are now heading to the back of the bus. Here we go. Thank you for taking time to see us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's right, so you had your set this morning. So you're now kind of done for the day and free to relax and make the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I got off stage, I was like, okay, can breathe now. But yeah, it's been such a good weekend so far.
So how did you kind of find opening up this morning?
Oh goodness, I was so nervous. This is like my first festival experience, my first time like coming to Buckland Boots as well, so like just taking it all in alone is like a lot. So yeah, it was amazing to open up today.
So So being kind of at the paddock stage, did you kind of have a few people crawling out of tents once they kind of heard the music start? Because I guess it's always quite nervous being on the opening kind of time. You're like, oh, are people going to be up and about or not? But
yeah, well that's what I thought. But I mean, it was reasonably full when I started, and then a few people I think like were walking through the campsite and heard the music going and were like, oh, it's started, and joined. It was a really interesting experience. I ended up playing like a full song in the sound check. So I got applause for the sound check, and I was like, okay. It's going to a good start.
This will be fine. Not quite even started yet.
Yeah.
That's a good win. So how have you found the festival? You got here sort of late yesterday, didn't you? How have you kind of found it? If this is your first experience?
Oh my goodness, it's so nice to just be able to soak up country music, but like in the UK. Like it's giving me the vibes of Nashville. And it's literally like a little hub of Nashville, like in Manchester of all places. So yeah, it's so nice to be surrounded by people that enjoy the country genre and are here to really like take it in. I've never experienced that before in the UK.
And obviously, what's it like for you being fairly new for like releasing? You know, you haven't released too many sort of songs, so then kind of get the chance to be on a festival bill. It's got to be quite a big kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. It definitely feels like a big step for me. And like honestly, when I got the email to say that I was going to play, I was buzzing. I didn't know what to do with myself. And it's also nice because I guess my first single, Homeless, came out February 2020. So like within 3 weeks we were in a lockdown.
Not exactly well timed that one there.
Yeah, no. So I didn't actually get to like meet anyone or play for anyone in person. So events like these are great because I've got to meet so many people I've spoken to like online, and like actually introduce myself, I guess, to like the UK country scene.
Jamie joining in. Look at her, the little mixed fan man has like appeared with more alcohol.
I was sidetracked.
I did say you probably would have been.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So it is kind of, have you had a chance to see many of the other acts down in there?
Yeah, so like we've been popping around all day. We saw, who did we see last night? Jess Liston.
Yeah.
So the first live stream that I ever played during COVID was with Jess. And today's the first day that we've actually met in person.
I think that's the thing, that for so many people,
like,
they're kind of going, oh, we've been doing Zoom calls for years. Like, I've got Dan Davidson's coming tomorrow. I've been speaking with him for about 3 or 4 years, but I've never met him because of lockdown and everything.
Yeah.
I think so many people are finding that. They've worked with these artists, they've done so many things. It's like, yeah, there's something like below your shoulders, and you have I don't really see you beyond that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's so many people as well that like you walk past and you're like, I know that person. I don't know if that person knows who I am, but I've seen you online.
I do that all the time. It's like, I think you know.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to presume that you know who I am because I mean.
It's like you're talking to me, and it's like, you know, probably should.
Yeah. The other thing is like walking past people and smiling and saying hi, and then as you go past, you realise like, is that someone that I've spoken to before? Or have I just like followed them on Instagram? Like, it's so strange.
Are they just being polite by saying hi back?
Yeah. It's such a small world though, like within like the country. I call it like the country community because everyone knows each other. But yeah, so everyone knows each other. It's such a small little group of. It's a pocket of the industry, which I quite like because it's more personal.
And it does seem to be everyone kind of does root for each other. I think that's the good bit about the UK scene, isn't it? That everyone is kind of there for each other, and as we did see during lockdown, that they all did kind of team up to do some bits together, do live streams and things together, rather than just being, oh yeah, you're on your own kind of thing.
And I'm so grateful as someone that's so like new to it, the way that I've sort of been welcomed. And, I have worked with all these people and done live streams with them, and like that's ended up with me playing here this weekend.
And as you said, when you only released one song before that lockdown, it is kind of such a gambling time of, is this going to work? Is it?
So I think it's worked out okay for me, but I'm definitely glad that part of it's over and that we can do this now and be in person and performing for people rather than them in a comment section.
it is sort of really nice, like we've sort of said to people before, it's like you've got things like, you know, Eddie Smith's playing on that stage tonight. He's playing with like 4 or 5 other bands.
He's playing 5 times this weekend.
And that shows the sort of community thing. It's like, you know, you'll have like, you know, we live in our London bubble, you know, we live in King's Landing, it's like the centre of the world, it's like the north, it's like impoverished, we don't like you, but you know, it's the whole sort of like, we come up here and like, everyone comes together, and like, you know, and you sort of see that, like, you know, where you sort of got like, you know, acts coming, like, you know, the Rising here in Northern Ireland, you've got guys coming out from Scotland, like, Outlaw Orchestra in Southampton. Then you've got the guys, Dan Davidson and Matt Langton from Canada. You've got Audra, you've got William. You've got all these people coming from so many different places. It's a real interesting sort of melting pot, I suppose. That's a way to describe it. And that you'll get to sort of like you sort of said, these are real people. You can talk to these people. You exist. You exist.
So are you finding there's obviously, again, there's been people coming from all over the UK because of the location of it? You get people from Scotland, you get people like us from the south, you get people coming in from Wales. Are you having people going, having not even heard of your music at all before today, and then be like, wow, that was... Because I think that's the thing here, that people will come up to artists after the shows, which I don't think you get at too many other places. I think that people do feel like they can actually approach the artists here. I think the artists almost expect to be approached as well.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, my favourite part of the day today, obviously I loved performing, but the speaking to people afterwards has been literally my favourite part, and getting to know where they've come from and what artists they were here to see, who they've liked the most, and having that connection with people, because I feel like I did get it a little bit online through COVID, but it's just not the same. And then hopefully going forward I'll see those people at shows again.
That's the aim, isn't it? Yeah, people then sort of want to come. And if you start touring in different parts of the country, those people pop up again, don't they?
Yeah, that's the other nice thing about country being so small, and I'm so proud of it as a scene for the way that it's growing and the way that it's coming up. But it's nice at the moment because the artists and the fans are friends. Everyone speaks to each other, everyone knows each other. You'll go off stage and you'll just hang out with the people that listen to your music, and that's why it's so nice.
Well, it's what a lot of the American guys have been saying this weekend, that it's normally if they're at a festival, they're stuck backstage.
They can't get out.
The security won't let them go. If they need to go to their merch table, they have to get a golf cart round. That they don't have the option to just go and stand out the front and chat with people after their set. That's not a possibility, and I think that's what a lot of them are learning.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I'll take away with me if my career progresses and I'm lucky enough to keep going upwards. That the important thing is to make sure that you're still speaking to people the same way that you do right from the beginning. I was actually speaking to some American people that have come over to support one of the American artists. I think her name was Karen. So they were saying that she still does that, and I watched her do it, and I think that there's a lot to learn from that. That you need to keep doing that no matter how far you go up the scale.
So you obviously have just been to Nashville at the start of this year, so what do you think you kind of taken from that trip when it comes to obviously a live show, when it comes to writing music? Do you think you're going to get a lot from that going forward?
Yeah, 100%. Nashville is a magical place and it's so inspiring. But also you kind of go there and you see all of these talented people in one place, and it really makes you think I need to work harder. It's so great, but at the same time it's depressing because you're just watching all these amazing songwriters, and it just makes you want to be a better songwriter. But yeah, I made a good few friends whilst I was over there, and definitely some people that I'll hopefully work with going forward as well.
Did you sort of find it's very different to kind of the image sort of perspective you have of Nashville, because it's a strange city, it's a very odd city, and things Broadway is it's like Blackpool, it's like Brighton, I suppose. You kind of sort of go down and you kind of go there, and it's you sort of imagine it's I'm going to rock up onto Broadway and just walk into bars of writers' rounds and stuff, and you're seeing guys doing Bon Jovi covers and kind of all this sort of thing all night. But then when you sort of reach out and go a little bit further, down to East Nash or 12 South or wherever it is, down to Third and Lindsay or the stuff at the Blue Room, it's that is sort of the real Nashville. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. So we went to Broadway a good few times just because it's fun and we were on holiday, but it's definitely it's definitely the party street of it. When you go on a holiday to Mallorca or Tenerife or something, and there's the strip.
Exactly.
It's that. So
it's got to be done. You got to do it.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. If you're going to Nashville, you have to go have a couple of drinks on Broadway. And we did enjoy the live music, and it's definitely an atmosphere. But we've been twice now, and we went for Tin Pan South, which is the Songwriters Festival. So that's really been the centre of our trips every time we've gone. So we're lucky that we've experienced the real songwriting culture of Nashville. and that's cool because a lot of them, like same as here, they'll hang around after the show and they'll speak to you. I met Maddie from Maddie and Tay, and she was the loveliest girl I've ever met in my life. She was honestly so cute. And yeah, you'll just meet all these incredible songwriters like Laurie McKenna. I got a Laurie McKenna tattoo whilst I was there. Yeah, all of them so nice. Liz Rose, I got the opportunity the first time we went to get up and sing with Liz Rose, which was, I cried. In fact, the reason
I was
she
going to
called
say,
me
the
up on stage
bucket
was
list
because
must
I
have
was
been like, right, how do I
crying.
beat these kind of things now? That's the problem.
Yeah, no, so I was crying in the front row of a Liz Rose show, and she was like, "Does anybody here a singer?" And I was like, "Me!" And she pulled me up on stage to sing "You Belong With Me," which was very cool. I will hold that video clip dear to me for the rest of my life. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think we saw, I guess, the more like songwriter side of the city, which is what we went for, and I think that's the real Nashville, really.
That's great. So, no, great team, obviously. Enjoyed this weekend, making the most of your festival debut.
I was gonna say, it's nice to like do one of these with someone that's already played.
I know.
Because everything else we've done has been like, people are like, are you excited about playing? It's like, well, we can't ask you that, because you've already played. Are you excited? It's like, well, I was, but
you got through it. You got through it.
I did.
Yes, you had the people. You had the people crawling out of their tents and glamping pods to come and see you.
Yeah, no, it was great, and it was nice to see the audience grow, and like as people walked past, they kind of like, oh, what's going on here, and came in. So I was like, yes, I've pulled them in the tent.
That's obviously a really good sort of sign. Like, that's one of the things, like with the way the festival's set up here. If they walk past you and they're hearing what you're doing, if more people come in, it's like they're like thinking, we like this. This is good. So you're
right.
And I think the timings they've done. I always say I really like how they do the timings, because if you wanted to, you can catch at least 20 minutes of every set.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you
it's
can
not
see
far between the two.
Staggered,
And you do see this pod of people all day, kind of
back and forth,
back and forth between the two stages, because they just want to soak up as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, I guess they probably don't get a huge amount of opportunity to, because this is probably one of 4 or 5 opportunities throughout the year to have this many country artists in the UK in one place. So yeah, they're going to want to make the most out of their tickets.
No, it's definitely a worthwhile weekend. Brilliant to kind of hear you've enjoyed it, and can't wait to hear more from you. So thank you very much to Reya for kind of taking the time to kind of chat with us. It was obviously great to see her almost straight after she came off stage, which was brilliant. So yeah, it was great fun. That's our first visit to the bus.
it was. It was like the bus. I think like we'd sort of mentioned that like they had a bus that they turned into a bar, but when we were sort of sat up there and kind of recording stuff, it was just like so much better, and like the whole like bit outside and things, anyone that didn't kind of get to see it and stuff, it was just, you know, a really cool like addition to the festival that sort of fitted in really well. Everyone we were with like loved the cushions and wanted to steal Carl's cushions that were kind of there. But yeah, it was really cool. You know, great kind of obviously, you know, Reya now living down in London and stuff. So hopefully we're going to be able to kind of catch her and kind of see more of kind of what she's done. And it's, you know, great that she's shared, you know, some new music conveniently timed as we're doing this. But she's not the only person that's kind of put out new tracks over the last couple of weeks since we've been last away. We've had a new single from Cassie Ashton called I Don't Go Back. We've had 2 new tracks from Christian Bush. The Eli Young Band have dropped a new album called Love Talking. That came out the Friday when we were at Buckle and Boots. So that's kind of come out and stuff as well. We've had a new track from Jaden Michaels that came out just this weekend, just gone, called Wrong. And also a couple of weeks back as well, an awesome new track from Brooke Eden called Left You For Me, which is going to be one of the new tracks off her brand new EP, Choosing You, which is coming out at the end of July. And she's not the only person we've had news about of someone bringing out new music in the future. Kelsey Walden, who's actually kind of a part of this Oh Boy Records tour that's kind of taking place around at the moment. She's going to be playing London next week. She's got a new record coming out in August called No Regular Dog. That's coming out on August 12th. And I suppose the big, most exciting kind of like new music announcement is one of our favorite artists, a great friend of the site, someone I've been lucky enough to chat with twice. A lot of my friends saw her at CMA Fest over the weekend. They saw her on Sunday morning. She was playing a Riverfront stage. Massively jealous that they got to see her play full band. But Calista Clark, she dropped a brand new track on Friday called Sad, and also shared that on October the 14th, so quite a long way ahead into the future, that she's going to be releasing her first full-length record called Real to Me, The Way I Feel. So really, really excited to kind of hear all that with what's coming from Calista. That's all the festival news of what's coming kind of ahead in the future. We've talked about all the releases and things. We've talked a bit about Buckle and Boots. We had a blast. Can't wait to sort of go back next year and things. You know, we hung out with a bunch of really cool people, and even people we didn't kind of like properly sit down and record things. It was sort of great to kind of see, you know, William Michael Morgan and Audrey McLaughlin and Jeremy McComb, who we did speak with and had a really, really cool chat with, which we'll kind of be doing sort of things with in the not too distant future. But yeah, it was just a blast of a weekend. And like while we were recording our interviews, you know, we did a lot of it on the top of the bus, which we had a lot of fun with. And we got to meet somebody for the first time. And it was her, I think it was her first festival performance as well.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm sure that's what we're saying.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun. She's definitely going to be a friend of ours, and we can't wait to sort of see what she's doing in her other world outside of music, because she's currently on tour with Rock of Ages. But ahead of her set at Buckle and Boots, we had a wonderfully fun, absolutely crazy little chat with Vicki Manser as well.
Back to the bus we go.
We're in the bus. We're on the bus.
I don't think I would ever thought I'd come to a festival and be sat at the back of a bus doing an interview. This is really weird.
I love it. This is so cool.
It just works though, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's, you know.
It's so random, but I love it. It's the most random thing ever to be sat on the back of the bus.
I think this summer there's going to be lots of like drunken stories shared on this bus, isn't there? But it's definitely going to be the place to be, I think.
So how are you finding Buckle and Boots then, first time?
Oh my god, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think I would live here if I could. I've decided. No, but it's so great, isn't it? Like, just the atmosphere, everybody's here for a good time.
Yeah.
And we've lucked out with the weather, so that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Oh my gosh, the disco lights. You can't see, but there's disco lights in the bus.
I saw it like they were going up last night as well.
Yeah, they got the whole bit outside.
It's
Yeah.
like, it looks so awesome.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
It's like the best free purchase like they could ever have got for a festival. Like someone literally gave them a bus.
Oh, 100%.
And it's like how you use it. But
Definitely
apart from that,
most
you're going to play a little bit later on as well today, which is
Yeah.
going to be a lot of fun. Are you really excited?
I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I can't wait. Yes, 5:45 on the Paddock stage.
So you're playing full band?
Full band, yep. So we've got me, the two guitarists, bassist, and the drummer.
So how nice is it to have a festival like this where they kind of share between the UK and the American Canadian acts so much?
Oh, it's great because you get everywhere has a different flavour as well. So it's just really nice to hear music from far and wide, and everybody just comes together as a community. I think actually the country music community is also supportive. That's one thing that I've really noticed last night watching the main stage, is that all the other acts are there supporting and loving it, and that's really special.
Yeah, you see that so much, like not just kind of people that have sort of stood at the back during other people's sets, but the amount of people that have got their own set and are playing guitar or keys for somebody else, and kind of jumped around. So someone's drummer can't make it, and they sort of rope somebody in. Everyone's just It's just sort of a good community.
Yeah, because we were talking to some of the American acts yesterday, and they were kind of saying how in America they couldn't leave the backstage area.
Really?
Because I sort of was talking to William Michael Morgan, I was like, oh, it's really, you know, do you normally come out the front? Because he was so natural being out the front. He's like, no, I don't leave. You wouldn't leave backstage in America because there's so much going. Yeah, there's so much going on that you just stay backstage. So I think for them again, it's a nice change of atmosphere.
Yeah, very chill.
Yeah.
And just welcoming. I like it. It's great.
It must be nice as well, like to be able to sort of, you know, where kind of you're obviously a newer name to a lot of people and stuff here. Like we've sort of been looking through. There's a lot of names that are quite sort of new to us, but you know, for being able to kind of play new songs, especially, you know, that it's not the same as to anyone. New songs, old songs are going to be pretty much the same. So you get the freedom to sort of do what you do, and you know, you just had a new single come out as well. And tell us all about that then.
Oh, well, I released Fly on the 27th, so was that last week?
Last Friday.
Last Friday, which I was very, very lucky. It went to #1 in the country charts, so thanks everybody. But yeah, that Fly is my new single, and it's one of my favourites. I'm going to play it later on today as well, so I hope you like it.
Will you
be there?
We'll be there. So were you kind of watching it go up the chart throughout the day? Were you constantly hitting refresh, or was it a case of you just ignored it and someone told you?
Yeah, that's that. Do you know what? That was the case when I released my first single back in lockdown, which seems like a million moons ago. I forgot that charts even existed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my goodness. When someone texts me like, oh my God, you're #1. And then we were watching it climb the all genres, and that's when I was like, refresh, because I just couldn't believe it. That just didn't occur to me that when I released a song that was ever going to happen. So yeah, oh my gosh, my mind was blown. It was great though.
And obviously when you get into that top 100 of the all genres, you're talking kind of pretty big household names kind of thing are in that list as well that you're up amongst, aren't you?
Hilarious when you're like next to Taylor Swift and you're like, all right babes.
If only she looked the other way, it's like, oh, look, I'm next to.
Yeah, can you imagine?
But obviously, outside of country music, you've been quite busy lately with theatre work.
Yep.
So, Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages
is
at
definitely.
the moment.
I love the film. I haven't
Do
seen,
you?
Yeah. Like, not many
the
people do.
musical's better.
And this is what everyone says. I haven't seen the musical yet.
Yeah. Oh, come.
So
come,
what's
come,
it been like, kind of mixing, obviously trying to release new music with also fitting in, effectively, the daytime job of theatre work?
I mean, I'm very lucky because all the musicals that I've been a part of are very, I know this sounds really silly to say, but they're very music based.
Yeah.
And so I find myself surrounded by very similar people in the sense of we don't just love musical theatre, they love music as well, and the two worlds just collide, and therefore you're just so supported by everybody, and it's just really lovely. But yeah, it's very busy, and I'm constantly like phoning Alex, my right hand man, being like, have we done this? What do we need to do? And he's like, Vic, you need to do this, and I wouldn't be able to do it without him. So
do you sort of find that when you're sort of thinking about kind of doing your sets, if you're going to put a cover in, because obviously like Rock of Ages is like a jukebox musical,
Yeah.
you know, it's all, you know, these classic
Absolute
like
bangers.
big kind of, you know, 80s, you know, huge hits and stuff. So do you find you're more drawn to like they're the songs you might cover in your set, or do you go, hang on, I sing that every day, I've done that, I want to do something different and go completely?
Oh yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm definitely influenced by that music because my stuff is quite rocky.
Yeah.
Country rock, pop, but more of the rocky side, I would say. But yeah, we haven't put any of those songs in the set. But that might be something to do in the future, actually.
Yeah.
You've just pinged a light bulb in my head.
Well, no, but it's like, it's kind of when you sort of watch, like, you know, just, you know, the way that you've got like some of the medleys as well. Like, it's not just some of them
Yeah.
are not like the, like Living in Paradise kind of, and that, is that Nothing But Good Time?
Yeah, Nothing But
Yeah,
Good Time.
kind of, it's not just the songs individually.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of, you know, sort of,
You're right, there's quite a few in Rock of Ages that
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, that integrate.
yeah.
We'll
There's
whack
more
in a
ideas.
medley.
There's ideas. Think about your medleys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what should we put in? I get thinking now. That's if I ever get to play a festival again.
To be fair, you've got a great spot today as well, actually, because you know the two acts either side of you, and you know two acts we know really well and stuff. You've got Shannon before you, who's fantastic. She's lovely.
Yeah.
You need to hang out with her and chat.
I can't wait to meet her because I listened to her stuff when I first started releasing music, and I think she was great.
And then you've got the Jackson line after, who are good friends of mine, Essex-based band over in Chelmsford, and you know, see, they're probably first time up here as well. And you know, similarly for Shannon kind of playing up here, so you know, a lot of people, you know, it sort of seems like all the southern acts kind of stick together and things, and it's like everyone's coming up, and it's like we like it. It's like taking on the north. It's like the whole like Game of Thrones thing. It's like, you know, marching up from King's Landing up to Winterfell up here, and it's not actually cold.
We're here.
We're here.
We made it to the bus.
We made it to the bus.
We made it to the back of the bus. Woo!
Yeah, have a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. I will.
It's been cool to hang out.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking our bus virginity, I suppose. Pretty much.
Anytime.
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 Thank you very much and enjoy today. Make the most of your first festival appearance.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it's definitely not going to be the last.
Definitely not.
So, thank you very much again to Vicki. Now, I think the favourite part of my interview, was what happened straight afterwards. I think you had disappeared. But basically, there was some girls just outside the bus.
I did
doing
say it.
This is where I know I'm too old because I don't really know what was going on. But it was one of these like time-lapse videos where they would jump in and then they would change outfit or something. But basically, they were wearing some of Vicki's merchandise. So she ran over and basically just joined in. And it was brilliant. There must be the final edit, must be somewhere. I'm sure she'll share it. Would have shared it somewhere. But yeah, it was quite cool. So she basically just joined in. This group of sort of 4 or 5 girls joined in their TikTok video. And that is my knowledge of TikTok. There you go.
It was really cool to kind of see a lot of things with, like, you know, the way that people were kind of like interacting and things. I think one of the best ones, I don't know if you remember, when we were upstairs on the top of the bus on a Thursday and we were having a couple of drinks with Luke and Jade, and like Kez was with us as well. There were some kids that were shouting up to her, Keziah. So they wanted Kezia Gill to, I think it was, sign their T-shirt.
Yeah, they were getting their festival T-shirt signed.
So yeah, and she was like, "'Cause you said my name like that, I'm gonna come down," and it was like awesome. And Kezia is actually someone that we're gonna get to see on stage again this weekend, because she is one of the artists that is playing at Black Deer Festival, which I am so excited about.
This is going to be a good one.
I'm so glad it's come back. The lineup is so diverse. The site is absolutely gorgeous. It's very hilly. It's going to be a lot of walking, but you know, that's all that and things. But I can't wait to be kind of getting down to Tunbridge Wells on Friday.
Yeah, so I'm there Friday, Saturday. You're obviously there all weekend. Jamie is braving the tent again.
I'm braving the tent again, and
I'm wimping out and driving home each night. So it's only about a 40-minute drive for me, so I'm wimping out. I was like, I'll pay the extortionate petrol prices to avoid being in a tent for 2 nights.
It's going to be cool. So, like, across the weekend, you've got James, Jake Bugg, and Imelda May playing on a Friday. Saturday, Wilco, the Waterboys, Cam, Kezia Gill, Orange Circus Band, who one of my favourite UK acts, and so I think they're absolutely great entertainment. Then Sunday, obviously, Van Morrison headlining the whole festival. You've got Drive By Truckers, you've got the Dead South, you've got Ward Thomas, William Prince, who we had a really cool chat with a couple of weeks back, which that's now live on the site. Native Harrow and Eddie Smith, who we also talked about before as well, because he was also at Buckle and Boots. So Black Deer is going to be a huge amount of fun down there. I genuinely can't wait.
It's going to be such a busy weekend because there's so many just different types of music, different genres, and again, different fans of music compared to what I think we're used to seeing maybe at more kind of mainstream country music festivals.
I think the thing about it is so much there, because they have like all the like sort of like, you know, like the fire stuff with like the cooking, like the, you know, the barbecue type smoke things and stuff. Then they have like that sort of like rock bar. I've sort of noticed by looking at the map of the festival site, it seems to have like things moved around slightly from when I last went. 3 years
Yeah,
ago?
they really push, I think, the kind of the family side of it as well. I think that's the bit I've always liked. That last time I was there was like a circus type demonstration, so the kids could join in circus stuff. There's all kind of activities just going on for the whole family, so it wasn't just geared up just for music, which I think is brilliant to see as well.
Yeah, and we will obviously have plenty of coverage from there over the weekend. Who knows when we're going to record after again. We might be able to kind of get something done on sort of. Well, you're not there on Sunday, so Monday should.
No, I'm missing Sunday. I'm on. Daddy, it's Father's Day. You can't go to a gig. I was like, but it's Father's Day. I can do what I want.
I had the thing with like mum texted me before saying it's like, remember it's Father's Day and Sunday you need to send your dad a card. And it's like, it's the same as like Mother's Day. It's like, you know, Clinton's, you have like the monopoly of the world of all these sort of things. It's like, surely Sunday is a bit of a crap day to have one of these things, because like Royal Mail's bad enough at the best of times, like only a day where they don't even deliver. So yes, but I will be there because I clearly don't love my parents that much.
Hey, when she's 10, I can still do it. I don't mind.
So yeah, it'll be great fun. I know Ian's going to be chatting to Cam over the weekend, which is probably like the highlight in terms of like any sort of like interview things we've sort of got going. We're going to have a couple of other bits kind of around, and it's just going to be fun. And so hopefully some of you will be able to join us down in Deer Park.
Yeah, can't wait. It's just crazy, isn't it? You wait for so long, and then it's been literally one weekend off, and we go again. And
yeah,
it's then literally it'll be, and what, 2 weeks, I think, and then it's on to Tennessee Fields, I think.
Tennessee Fields.
Well, I think
I know.
Then it's a month, and we're long road again.
I know there were some people that were at Buckle and Boots, then went to CMA Fest and are going to Black Deer.
Oh my God.
So 3 weekends running. It's
Sleep
like
is clearly overrated.
Massively brutal, but well and truly worth it. So that's episode 16.
Have we ticked off everything on your list? You had a very comprehensive list at the start of it.
I did. Like you talking about a list makes it appear that we're organised.
I've got nothing. I'm just turned up.
You're out. So that's that done. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever you happen to come across reading this. We're pumped to be at Black Deer this weekend. And thanks to Reya and thanks to Vicki for hanging out with us on the bus.
And obviously keep an eye on our socials, because we will be, as ever, just posting some live music pieces from Black Deer onto our stories, and we have a photo pass as well again this weekend, so we will be down in the photo pit taking photos Friday, Saturday.
Well, that one of the things I might be involved in some capacity might be taking people in and out of photo pits.
Oh, let me in.
I will literally get out, you're not allowed, get out.
Well, we'll let you share your weekend job role next time.
Well, yeah, we'll want to know what I'm doing.
Well, thank you all very much. As we said, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Vicki. We'll see you all next time with some Black Deer Festival highlights. Thank you. Good night.